I appreciate you tuning in. Jump in on the chat. If you guys are watching this recorded, appreciate y'all watching. And jump in here on the comments as we go throughout the video. So tonight we're talking cabin fever. As winter storm Fern stretched across the United States anyways, this last weekend, it brought havoc for a lot of folks, and my prayers are out for anybody that suffered some massive power outages or anything that came along with the severity of the storm. And big shout out, big thanks to all the workers that were out there, whether it be taking care of our roads or our electric or what have you. Just want everybody to know you're all appreciated. Anyways, we're going to jump a little bit deeper into tonight's topic of cabin fever, and whether it's weather, work, life, or just broken parts, whatever it is, which is obviously ride. So, excuse me, I'll give you a second. My laptop is set up, it's ready to go, so I should be able to see your chats. I should be a little bit more prepared tonight. Even got my little mic on here. I'm trying to use it more. Hopefully the audio in my videos as well as this live comes through a lot better. So grab you a cold one, let's get into it. All right, for most people, cabin fever just means being cooped up, right? But for us UTV riders, it means not being in on the trails, not getting that seat time, and way too much time sitting here looking at your machine just sitting in the garage. Fortunately, with Yeller Feller, I don't experience a whole lot of that because I do have the enclosed cab, do have the heater in there. However, how it kind of affects me is it's not more easily accessible to get to some of the trails, and I do not get as much seat time in the winter, so it does kind of limit me to getting you guys more great content, right? I'm not necessarily going out to the park. Some of the parks are even closed this time of year. There's not a whole lot of people to ride with this time of year because maybe some don't have the enclosed cabs, or excuse me, maybe their work schedule is a little bit different. But it is a little bit harder for me to get content this time of year, but I'm trying my best. I'm trying to still stick with the schedule, and I just don't want to bring you guys, 5-10 minute rides through the woods that you see on everybody else's channel. I want this channel to be, a little bit more unique. So I do what I can, and I throw in the bonus content every once in a while. If it's something I don't think that is enough for a full video, throw in them little short clips, maybe just give you some entertainment. Because this time of year, if your buggy's put away and you got the extra time, it is a good time to catch up on your YouTube channels, and we'll get into that here in a minute. But let me go through my notes here. How long has it been since your last ride, right? Are you guys ones that you don't have cabin fever, right? Winter don't bother you. You ride yours just as normal as you would ride it in the summertime months. Like I said, with Yeller Feller here, I can still get out when I want, but I am more prone to ride in the warmer conditions just because there's a little bit less to deal with, right? You don't have to maybe be as prepared, because safety is another thing. When you're riding in these conditions, our weather here in southeastern Ohio right now, we only got maybe 5 inches of snow from the storm that came through. And I would like to know what you guys got. Let me know, drop it in the comments. Because I know here it went from 3 to 6 inches to 24 inches we were supposed to get, and ended up only getting about 5, but it did rain most of the day, and that rain turned to ice. We got a good thick layer of ice on top of all of our snow, and it is kind of a mess out. But anyways, in these conditions, and what I was getting at there was the temperatures. So the snow is one thing. Snow's fun. Love snow, right? Snow, I could care less about snow. You want, if it's going to be cold in the winter, let's have some snow. Let's put it on the ground. Love riding in it. Have a blast in it. But however, with this snow came some cold temperatures. And I know my friends up north there, especially Green, if you're on here, bud, I missed you last week. But tune in on this one. Hopefully you can at least drop me a chat or comment later on. Their conditions up there are cold all the time, but down here in the States, we're not necessarily, at least where we're located, maybe prepared for the cold weather that we're getting. It is staying below 20 during the day, hovering right around there, getting down to the 0, maybe even negative mark during the nighttime. The old wood boiler, she's really eating up the wood, but it's keeping us nice and warm. I am grateful for having it, and grateful for having Yellerfeller to help me get that wood out of the woods, as you guys hopefully have seen in some other videos. So anyways, be safe with these weather conditions. Be prepared. Don't go riding alone in these weather conditions unless you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, you have an outlet, you have the proper equipment with you. The proper, maybe if you got cell phone service, that's a good thing. Make sure your phone's charged. Make sure you have extra clothes with you, even if you're in a heated cab and you suspect that, well, I'll be fine because I got heat. Well, take them extra layers with you just in case something happens. You never know what's going to happen on the trail. But anyways, I'm done preaching to you. I know you guys know all that stuff. I'm just trying to kind of lay down what the weather is like here, and hopefully you'll drop in the comments what you guys got out of that storm. So, and it kind of goes along with cabin fever, right? Maybe some of you are like, well, I don't have an enclosed cab or nothing. I'm in the house or wherever, and I'm not going out in this stuff. So that's kind of what we're getting into. You're watching YouTube videos every night. Hopefully Defender Adventures 1, right? But if not, what is your guys' go-to? I know you guys are not strictly on YouTube just for this channel. I know there's a lot of other awesome channels out there. And got our first comment. Thank you, Tim Rose. 5 to 6 inches snow in Chicago. Super cold, single digits. No riding for me with open cab. I don't blame you. I would not be out there riding myself if I didn't have the Defender closed up. A lot of people, I've seen some really unique ideas. I even seen a guy on TikTok, I believe it was, what he done to block the wind is he went in Walmart, got him a shower curtain, right? Zip tied that thing around and just to keep the wind off of him, which, hey, whatever works, man, whatever gets you out there riding. But yeah, those temperatures there, not fun if you ain't got some kind of heat building in the cab. A lot of people are going to the diesel heaters these days. And here in the garage, I use my wood boiler to keep it kind of warm right now. It's 60 in here now, so not saying it's cold, but I wouldn't mind having one of those diesel heaters plumbed in here just for backup heat. But I see a lot of them people putting them in their buggy and just plumbing the pipe into there. I'm curious to how well that works. Seems like a lot of people love them. I know kind of maybe a little bit, I'm not going to say dangerous, but just a little bit of a peace of mind of knowing that you got maybe a diesel can slushing around. But I guess you got a fuel tank, so I don't know. But I know a lot of people doing the diesel heaters, like I say, the guy with the shower curtains, people using saran wrapping their cab up, whatever you can think of. But I get it, when it's that cold, catch up on your YouTube videos, right? I don't matter how many videos we're on now. We're at 300 subscribers, huh? Thank you all. Appreciate that. We're going to have to do a giveaway sometime, right? You guys are watching, you're liking, you're subscribing, and I appreciate you all, each and every one of you. So we're going to have to do a giveaway here sometime soon. But we're at 300 subscribers, probably 200-ish videos. I don't know. I'd have to look, which I probably can on here. But anyways, what I was getting at, I just lost my train of thought. My bad. But while you're stuck inside, go back through my archives, check out all the videos. And then some of the other big channels that I watch, of course, I've said many a times, Can-Am Crew, love watching their stuff. Somewhat Haggard, they got some really good stuff out there, and they're pretty consistent. But you can even tell with them, this time of year, they do a lot of riding. They do a lot of events. Well, this time of year, there's not many events going on. There will be picking up real soon, and they're starting to get their list together of where they're going to be. But right now, they're doing a lot of garage stuff, a lot of tips, tricks. And that's a great time of year for that. And that's kind of what we're getting into. Now you're sitting behind the computer. You're looking at where you want to go ride. Me, myself, I have planned a few rides out. R3, yes, sir. R3 is getting ready for King of the Hammers. Watch them building their X3. They're an awesome team. The way that has all came about, that channel has came about, is kind of a story in its own. That's a good thing to watch this time of year. Go back, kind of see where that's going, and love those guys. They're doing awesome things, and getting ready for King of the Hammers. King of the Hammers is what? Does that start next weekend or the weekend after? But there'll be some awesome content on that too. Of course, that's all the way out west, where the weather will be a little bit better, but another good one. But now's the time, plan your rides, right? Set your calendar down, get with your buddies, get on there, get your bucket list of where you want to go. It's been brought to my attention, because it was always kind of on my radar, but had a subscriber reach out, and that just went to Badlands in Attica, Indiana, and R3 has actually been there. I watched one of the R3 videos from there, and looks like a place I would like to take the Defender. Maybe a good time of the year when I ain't got nothing going on. Go ahead and book that trip, right? Some different places this year I want to hit. Obviously, I've do a lot of Hatfield stuff because it's close to home, but there's a lot of other parks that I would like to get the Defender out to and give you great content of it on the trails. Another thing that I am very guilty of this time of year is either sitting behind the old phone on the marketplace or scrolling maybe Amazon or wherever, some of my favorite parts places, and trying to find accessories, right? Now is a good time of year. While you got her in the garage, if you ain't got it out there riding, might as well get some of the shop stuff done. So if you've been following along, I've been doing some services, done one on a limited, done a service on a cab model HD8, which that video has not come out yet. Probably be the next one you'll see. You've seen it in the woods on a few rides. We had it in the garage, done some servicing on it, and then Yeller Feller, before our next big ride, which will be coming real soon, I'm going to go ahead and get a complete service kit, which I have found on Amazon for, I think it was 225 bucks, but it is front to back. Gets you the front diff fluid, gets you the oil change kit, gets you the air filter, gets you the spark plugs, gets you the transmission rear diff fluids. All comes in a box, all comes in one. It's not AMSOIL, it's the Can-Am stuff, but hey, that's what they recommend. So it's probably what I want to do. I'm just going to order the kit, hit her front to back, and then get ready for our first big ride of 2026. Of course, we've been on a few, but those have been local, but our first big ride of 2026 will be in Rush, Kentucky. So I know I go riding there a lot, and how I do not have content of the Defender on the channel yet is beyond me, but that will be what is upcoming first in 26 for as far as park rides, so stay tuned for that. And other things, just to kind of clean up, service, wiring. Like sometimes you might be in a hurry to go ride and you might throw a light bar on or throw a stereo in or something, and you just quickly run the wires, well, it's a good time. Take all that stuff apart, clean it up. I done the short shaft in the front of the Defender, and I had the dash apart. Normally, I would have threw this thing back together as quickly as possible just to get back riding, but it was that time of the year to where I don't have a lot of rides planned, so I went ahead and cleaned up all of my vent hoses for my Inferno heater, because I had defrost vents shining or blowing up on my windshield. Well, the Super ATV windshield across the bottom has a lip on it. Well, those defrost vents were shooting right against it, so they was doing nothing. So what I done was took all that venting apart, vented it all out the dash, blows a lot better in the cab, makes the heat a lot better on you, as opposed to just blowing up against that little frame rail that was really doing nothing. Just little things like that you can pick apart at while you got it sitting here. My winch, my rope, right? Used it the other day on the hill climb that I did not make. If you ain't seen that one, go check that out. But, you know, on the trail, you just wind her back in there and you get going. I need to run that thing back out, line it back up. That way, if I do go riding somewhere and it gets cold and get froze, it's not all wadded up in a ball. It'd be easy to free spool the next time I need to use it. Hit them grease zerks. Those things are key on these things. Get them all greased up while it's sitting here in the garage. So, like I say, good time to catch up on YouTube. Good time to plan your trips. And it's a great idea to even scroll YouTube to watch other videos. YouTube does a great job of suggesting videos, right? So you might have a regular set of videos that you watch. Mine's the Can-Am crew, Somewhat Haggard, R3, Rebels Off-Road, watch him some, well, quite a bit. Who else? I got some couple YouTube coaches that I watch. So those are under my subscribers, you know, page. I can go through there and watch them. But I know when their content comes out. I know that most of them are on a schedule. I know when that's coming out. But if you go to your homepage when you're bored, cabin fever, ain't got nothing going on, don't know what to do, and just scroll through YouTube, the suggested videos that come up are actually really good. There'll be some other, maybe UTV content come up, some tips and tricks, maybe on how to even load one on a trailer, or, I mean, just stuff that you wouldn't really think about just typing into search. You might be like, oh, well, that's worth the 5 minutes of my life. Might watch that, might learn something. So it's a good time of year. Just scroll through there. Might find some other YouTubers that you want to subscribe to. There's thousands of content creators out there. And like I say all the time, what I love about YouTube is they're real life people giving you real life content, real life tips and tricks. And those channels are absolutely awesome. So good time to maybe find you some new ones to watch. All right, where are we at? Let me get through my notes here. You'll learn what works, what doesn't, you know, before spending the money. That's what I love to do, especially if you're adding accessories. You might be like, man, that's tires, right? We talked tires last week, and I learned something last week, which I appreciate you all commenting on the Tire Talk live, is I was really, had my eye on those the Savage XTs. Well, doing more research, joining in on a live, hearing you people talk, I realized they are a heavy tire. And for the Defender, probably too heavy of a tire. Now, you guys might not agree with me, but I run these 370s, and the 370s do great. But as you've seen in my last video, once they get full and the Defender maybe doesn't necessarily have enough power to spin them, or not spin them quick enough to where they want to start bouncing and it feels like an axle's going to break, then I feel like maybe there's a better tire out there. Looking at the X-Comps really hard. I mean, you guys have suggested that, and check those out. But that's just an example of things that you can learn off YouTube, off real life people, without spending a bunch of money and then getting it in your hands, putting it on because you thought it was the greatest thing in the world, and then you get it and you're like, maybe I should have got somebody else's opinion. YouTube, great for secondary opinions. All right. So my next note says another thing, perfect cabin use garage time. We just went through that. Get that service done, get the accessories cleaned up, clean up your wiring, whatever. Anything that you've put off and you're like, it's fine for now because it's still running and I want to go ride, well, now's the time to just take a few seconds and get her prepped, because we know that that first ride that you take this thing out of the garage is going to be epic, and you want to make it the best possible ride ever, and you want to be prepared. So take the time now while she's just sitting in the garage and get her ready to go. So why this stuff matters. So it keeps you learning, right? Everybody comes up with something new. Every company out there is coming up with a bigger, better product every year, every season. So stay ahead of the game, right? These companies wouldn't be in business if they didn't try to make everything bigger, better, badder, right? So you want to be the first on that list of what's going on out there. Stay informed. And it's a good time of year just to keep improving your machine, and it keeps you excited for the next ride instead of frustrated that this thing's sitting in the garage. Now, I will say that I do have one little downfall also, and that one's cruising the marketplace, right? So you get bored and you're like, well, my buggy's sitting in the garage, so I want to go on marketplace, see what other buggies are out there, right? Well, don't be one of them people that fall into the trap that just because you ain't got yours out there riding around, you think there's one out there better, because it doesn't necessarily mean that there is. It just means that you're just itching to ride. So find a way, get in the seat, get out there, get through the trails, and you realize, well, this thing is pretty awesome, right? All right, so like I say, time to plan for the upcoming adventures. Get your new map system. The Trail by Trail app out there I've been playing with is absolutely amazing. Used it when we went to Hatfield. Keeps updating, keeps making it better. Play with it. You can play with it at home, right? You can get on there. There's so many track packs you can download, and you can check out where your next adventure is going to be. You can set your waypoints. You can plan you out a trip. It'll show you how far, how much time. Hello from Colorado. I bet you guys got some snow out there. Thank you, sir, for tuning in. That app is awesome. It's a good time to play with that. That way, when you get to the trail that you're going to ride, there is no question, right? You know what you're doing with it. You know how to load the track packs, how to set your waypoints, how to do all that. It's an awesome app. I encourage you to check it out. But that's a good time of year to do that. Where was that? Also, doing great today, sir. Thank you very much. It is chilly out. It is, what is it? It's 18-ish out. I got it about 57 in the garage now, so temperature's falling a little bit, but we're still comfy. Lifetime trail maps, Ben? No, I have not. And I'll tell you why. Because once I started getting deep enough into the trail riding, I was not going to enough parks to justify paying for it, if that makes sense. I would get on TrailView and buy a map system. So when we first started, we'd go to Rush a lot. I would buy the map for Rush on TrailView, and that was good. Like, you never had to buy it again. You paid for it once. It was like $10, and it was good enough between it and the little paper map that they give you, but it was good enough to navigate through Rush. So was I going to go out and spend the money on TrailView or the Lifetime Trail Maps? No, because that's really the only place I was going to ride, and everything else was local. So then after that, we started exploring a little bit more, a little bit into some bigger areas. Went to Hollerwood. Well, TrailView has a Hollerwood map. Bought the, $10, whatever. Hollerwood, there you go. There it is. Then done some Hatfield stuff. Started researching the trail apps a little bit more and realized that, yeah, I do need something of that sort. So never really looked at the lifetime trail map, so I don't have any input on them. Onyx, as you ask, haven't really messed with it either. The only thing that I've messed with on Onyx is when I pull it up, some of the trails that are not main trails, that are smaller intermediate trails, I guess maybe that I don't see. And maybe that's because my lack of experience with it. Maybe it's because I don't really know how to use it. And I am guilty of that. I've never really messed with it. Just kind of glanced at it. Trail View, in my experience, from when I'm buying one map, just because I go ride this place a lot, I only had to pay for it once. And it was an excellent base map system. Like, it will get you where you need to go at Rush anyways, and Hollerwood. And I did buy it for Ivy Branch and Hatfield. Great job, right? Didn't have Hollerwood was a little because some of the little trails that cut off maybe wasn't on Trail View. So maybe Onyx would have been better at that. I don't know. That's all I really have experience with, though, is the Trail View. And once I found this Trail by Trail app, you can get it on Google Play and now is offered on iOS. Game changer. It's very customizable, and the track packs, all the Bob T maps are on there. They are updated, excuse me, and they are very detailed. Even shows you some trails that are closed that you shouldn't be on. I just think, and it's very user friendly, and it's very like, you can track your own ride. You can record where you're going, whether it's at a park or whether it's at your own home trails. You can record it. You can set your waypoints. It's just an awesome app. I love it. You pay for it one time. It's like 25 bucks. Well, you pay for it one time for a year. It's a yearly subscription. It's like 25 bucks. I think it's worth checking out. But like I say, I cannot speak on Lifetime or Onyx because I never really used them that much. So anyways, it's winter. Cabin Fever. Check them out. Play around with all them systems and see which one you like best and which one works for you. So that being said, the next content you're going to see on the channel will be, like I said, I want to throw in the HD8 service. We did get some riding in this crazy weather that we had. Didn't get as much snow as we thought we was going to have, but it made the conditions a little bit more interesting with the ice that we got. So there will be some videos coming out on that. And like I say, our next first ride of 2026 will be at Rush Off-Road. So stick out, watching. That one will come up here sometime in the very near future. Like I say, it's harder to get content in the winter because I'm not in Yellerfeller as much as normal. And I don't, like I say, really want to give you boring stuff. I want to give you stuff that you want to watch. So stick with me. I'm still going to try to keep on the schedule. Tuesdays live at 5 and the Thursdays and Sundays. You ain't got nothing else to do if you got cabin fever anyways, right? Tune in to Defender Adventure 1 and check out what we got going on. And if you like what you're seeing, do me a favor, like it, hit the subscribe button. Drop a comment, whether you like it or don't like it. Let me know what I need to do better, what you're liking, what you're not liking, and hopefully I can take that and turn those comments into a better channel for something maybe next winter when you're stuck in the house that is, your alerts are set and you won't miss an episode. So anyways, the chat is open. What channels are you guys watching? What do you guys watch during cabin fever? What's the next accessory you plan to add? What do you got going on in your garage as you've got it sitting in there, nowhere to ride? Are you just staring at it, or are you trying to make the little improvements to where your next year will be the greatest adventures yet? When is the first ride? When are you guys planning? Are you waiting for the snow to be gone, or are you just waiting for the temperatures to climb a little bit? What is that temperature? What do you want to get it above freezing before you even head out? or are you okay with being a little bit cold, just don't want the snow and the wetness? I get it either way. Let me know. Drop it in the comments when you're going riding. So just having the cabin fever makes you one of us enthusiasts, one of us riders, one of us that want to just be out there riding. But I guess my thing to tell you is the trails are not going anywhere. The rides will happen. It will come back. The weather will make a turn, right? And when they do, be prepared, be more excited, and be ready to go. 2-inch, missed it, but I do have the laptop. 2-inch thumper fab lift, wheel spacers for the rear. Been riding all weekend. Heck yeah, bud. So my question, you have a 2-inch thumper fab lift and some spacers for the rear. So you're lifting at 2 inches. Wheel spacers, hopefully you're probably, let's see, if you're lifting at 2 inches, you're probably running 1.5 inches on the back, I'm guessing, wheel spacers. Just guessing. Just to get those rear tires the same as the front and get you a little bit better ground clearance. I get it. Tell me what, Ben Brown, tell me what tires you're running. I'm curious. And you may have commented last week on the tire talk, because your name looks familiar. I'm sure you've commented before on the channel, and I appreciate that. But refresh my memory. Let me know what tires you're running. Yep, 1.5 inch wheel spacers, I figured. What tires you running, Ben? Let me know. Anyways, be prepared. If you enjoyed hanging out tonight, thank you all for tuning in. Please tune in next week. I don't know what the topic will be. Hopefully something cool. Clutch kit tires on my RS1, Badlands in March. All right. Clutch kit is something that I thought about doing to the Defender, but I'm not sure yet. Still, it's an XMR, right? So this XMR has already got the gear reduction in it, and I feel like it does pretty good with that. So I don't feel like the clutch kit is going to improve it that much. Maybe helping my high gear taking off. Maybe it'll help get away from that little bit of a stumble it wants to do. But I feel like if I was going to do anything right now, it would be ECU flash and aftermarket exhaust. But I don't know yet. I still got this windshield on. That's poly that I don't like. So I still want to do a glass windshield. So that might be the next upgrade. I've been talking tires a lot. I'm still running the 370s. Love them. But is there something out there better? Ben says he's running 32, 10, 15, Kenda, Kevlar, 8, Kevlar, Kenda, Kevlar. I've seen it 100 times, but I guess I never said it out loud. Is that how Kevlar? Anyways, XTs. I've read great things about those. I actually thought about putting those on my Jeep. I like the little bit of a side bite they look like they have. Look like they got a good flat pattern across the top. Don't feel like they would be real bouncy on the road, which is what I don't like about these 370s is they're real hard and they want to bounce. Those Kendas though, I have checked into those and they do look like a really nice tire. Let me know later on down the road what you think about them. 32s running because you put the 2-inch lift in the wheel spacers. Let me know if they rub in the front, unless you have the forward clearance A-arms. I do not on this. I'm sticking with the 30 just because of the low power anyways on my 19. So probably not going to go to a 32 on it, but I wondered if you did put the little bit of a lift on it, if you could clear 32s without it rubbing too bad. I know a lot of people go with the forward A-arms. That way you ain't even really got to worry about it. But anyways, and Tim Rose said Badlands in March. Let me know, bud. Once you get there, put some tires on it. Let me know how that place is. It's a little, or how that place is, sorry. It's a little bit of a drive for me. So I've had a lot of people say it's an awesome place to go, and I want some more input before I make the trip, but it's pretty much going to happen. So had them, the Kendas to 65, and they were smooth. Do rub slightly. It hits the lift. Gotcha. Even the 30s though, on mine, do rub just if you turn down at an angle, a little off camber, and got her in a big bind. The 30s even do rub on this thing, just a hair. But anyways, hope y'all are surviving cabin fever. Hopefully I'm helping you out, at least on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. So anything you guys want to see, let me know. Anything that I've mentioned throughout the video, drop it in the comments. I'll get back with you. I love hearing from you guys. That's what this channel is all about. I appreciate each and every one of you for following along, liking and subscribing. And let's wrap her up here. So, like I said, I've enjoyed hanging out. And cabin fever, right? What are you gonna do? Well, hopefully I gave you some tips and tricks tonight. Appreciate you, Ben. Appreciate you, Tim. Appreciate you, Matthew. Who else chatted tonight? I believe that was all came in so far in the live chat. If you watched this recorded, do me a favor, drop it in the comments, and I'll get back with you. Appreciate y'all. Hopefully, we'll see you on the next one.